Language Foundations Vocabulary Flashcards, helping you achieve understanding.
How much there is or how many there are of something that you can quantify. An adequate or large amount. He had a quantity of ammunition. The concept that something has a magnitude and can be represented in mathematical expressions by a constant or a variable. How much there is or how many there are of something that you can quantify. Add up in number or quantity. The bills amounted to $2,000. A quantity of money. The amount he had in cash was insufficient. A quantity obtained by the addition of a group of numbers. Develop into. This idea will never amount to anything. Be tantamount or equivalent to. Her action amounted to a rebellion. The relative magnitude of something with reference to a criterion. An adequate amount of food for 4 people. A statute in draft before it becomes law. How much there is or how many there are of something that you can quantify. A basis for comparison. A reference point against which other things can be evaluated. They set the measure for all subsequent work. Any maneuver made as part of progress toward a goal. The situation called for strong measures. Determine the measurements of something or somebody, take measurements of. The act or process of assigning numbers to phenomena according to a rule. The measurements were carefully done. Express as a number or measure or quantity. Prosody. The accent in a metrical foot of verse. Measuring instrument having a sequence of marks at regular intervals. Used as a reference in making measurements. Musical notation for a repeating pattern of musical beats. Evaluate or estimate the nature, quality, ability, extent, or significance of. A container of some standard capacity that is used to obtain fixed amounts of a substance. Have certain dimensions. This table surfaces measures 20 inches by 36 inches. Preoccupation with something to the exclusion of all else. The process of formulating general concepts by abstracting common properties of instances. A general concept formed by extracting common features from specific examples. A concept or idea not associated with any specific instance. An abstract painting. The act of withdrawing or removing something. A general concept formed by extracting common features from specific examples. The event that occurred at the beginning of something. The creation of something in the mind. An abstract or general idea inferred or derived from specific instances. The act of becoming pregnant. Fertilization of an ovum by a spermatozoan. An abstract or general idea inferred or derived from specific instances. Make by combining materials and parts. Some eccentric constructed an electric brazier warmer. An abstract or general idea inferred or derived from specific instances. Reassemble mentally. Reconstruct the events of 20 years ago. Put together out of artificial or natural components or parts. Create by linking linguistic units. Construct a sentence. Create by organizing and linking ideas, arguments, or concepts. Construct a proof. Draw with suitable instruments and under specified conditions. Construct an equilateral triangle. One of the four quantities that are the basis of systems of measurement. A possibility due to a favorable combination of circumstances. Now is your chance. Come upon, as if by accident, meet with. She chanced upon an interesting book in the bookstore the other day. Occurring or appearing or singled out by chance. A chance occurrence. The possibility of future success. Take a risk in the hope of a favorable outcome. A measure of how likely it is that some event will occur. A number expressing the ratio of favorable cases to the whole number of cases possible. If that phone call is for me, chances are it's my wife. An unknown and unpredictable phenomenon that causes an event to result one way rather than another. We ran into each other by pure chance. A risk involving danger. You take a chance when you let her drive. Be the case by chance. I chanced to meet my old friend in the street. The amount of wood in an area as measured in cords. The ropes in the rigging of a ship. A specific measure of amount. The amount, of money or goods or services, that is considered to be a fair equivalent for something else. One of the four quantities that are the basis of systems of measurement. An estimated quantity. The difference in pitch between two notes. A definite length of time marked off by two instants. The distance between things. A set containing all points, or all real numbers, between two given endpoints. The extent or degree to which something is magnetized. The process that makes a substance magnetic, temporarily or permanently. The physical property of being magnetic. The extent or degree to which something is magnetized. The process that makes a substance magnetic, temporarily or permanently. The physical property of being magnetic. A system of related measures that facilitates the quantification of some particular characteristic. The rhythmic arrangement of syllables. A function of a topological space that gives, for any 2 points in the space, a value equal to the distance between them. A decimal unit of measurement of the metric system, based on meters and kilograms and seconds. Convert all the measurements to metric units. Based on the meter as a standard of measurement. The metric system. A measure of the anti-knock properties of gasoline. A measure of the anti-knock properties of gasoline. In games or plays or other performances, the time during which play proceeds. Contend against an opponent in a sport, game, or battle. Princeton plays Yale this weekend. Pretend to have certain qualities or state of mind. She plays deaf when the news are bad. Manipulate manually or in one's mind or imagination. She played nervously with her wedding ring. A dramatic work intended for performance by actors on a stage. He wrote several plays but only one was produced on Broadway. The act using a sword, or other weapon, vigorously and skillfully. A weak and tremulous light. The play of light on the water. Gay or light-hearted recreational activity for diversion or amusement. It was all done in play. Activity by children that is guided more by imagination than by fixed rules. Freud believed in the utility of play to a small child. Consider not very seriously. She plays with the thought of moving to Tasmania. Cause to happen or to occur as a consequence. Play a joke. Replay, as a melody. She played the third movement very beautifully. Game. The activity of doing something in an agreed succession. It is still my play. Perform on a stage or theater. She acts in this play. Stake on the outcome of an issue. She played all her money on the dark horse. An attempt to get something. They made a futile play for power. A deliberate coordinated movement requiring dexterity and skill. The runner was out on a play by the shortstop. Engage in recreational activities rather than work. Occupy oneself in a diversion. On weekends I play. Cause to emit recorded audio or video. I'll play you my favorite record. Movement or space for movement. There was too much play in the steering wheel. Behave carelessly or indifferently. The removal of constraints. They gave full play to the artist's talent. Engage in an activity as if it were a game rather than take it seriously. They played games on their opponents. The act of playing for stakes in the hope of winning, including the payment of a price for a chance to win a prize. There was heavy play at the blackjack table. Verbal wit or mockery, often at another's expense but not to be taken seriously. In games or plays or other performances, the time during which play proceeds. Rain stopped play in the fourth inning. Play a role or part. Gielgud played Hamlet. Act or have an effect in a specified way or with a specific effect or outcome. This factor played only a minor part in his decision. A preset plan of action in team sports. The coach drew up the plays for her team. A state in which action is feasible. The ball was still in play. A theatrical performance of a drama. The play lasted 2 hours. Be at play. Be engaged in playful activity. Amuse oneself in a way characteristic of children. The kids were playing outside all day. Behave in a certain way. Play safe. Be performed or presented for public viewing. What's playing in the local movie theater? Bet or wager, money. He played $20 on the new horse. Cause to move or operate freely within a bounded space. The engine has a wheel that is playing in a rack. Discharge or direct or be discharged or directed as if in a continuous stream. Play water from a hose. Emit recorded sound. The tape was playing for hours. Employ in a game or in a specific position. They played him on first base. Exhaust by allowing to pull on the line. Play a hooked fish. Make bets. Play the casinos in Trouville. Move or seem to move quickly, lightly, or irregularly. The spotlights played on the politicians. Participate in games or sport. We played hockey all afternoon. Perform music on a musical instrument. He plays the flute. Perform on a certain location. The prodigy played Carnegie Hall at the age of 16. Play on an instrument. The band played all night long. Pretend to be somebody in the framework of a game or playful activity. Let's play like I am mommy. Put a card or piece into play during a game, or act strategically as if in a card game. He is playing his cards close to his chest. Shoot or hit in a particular manner. She played a good backhand last night. Use or move. I had to play my queen. Use to one's advantage. She plays on her client's emotions. Utilization or exercise. The play of the imagination. In games or plays or other performances, the time during which play proceeds. Be oriented. The weather vane points north. Sail close to the wind. Repair the joints of bricks. Point a chimney. Any of 32 horizontal directions indicated on the card of a compass. He checked the point on his compass. Be a signal for or a symptom of. Her behavior points to a severe neurosis. A specific identifiable position in a continuum or series or especially in a process. A distinct part that can be specified separately in a group of things that could be enumerated on a list. The main point on the agenda was taken up first. An outstanding characteristic. His acting was one of the high points of the movie. A V shape. The cannibal's teeth were filed to sharp points. A contact in the distributor. As the rotor turns, its projecting arm contacts them and current flows to the spark plugs. The dot at the left of a decimal fraction. Direct into a position for use. Point a gun. Indicate a place, direction, person, or thing, either spatially or figuratively. He pointed to the empty parking space. The property of a shape that tapers to a sharp tip. The gun muzzle's direction. He held me up at the point of a gun. A V-shaped mark at one end of an arrow pointer. The point of the arrow was due north. An isolated fact that is considered separately from the whole. A point of information. A wall socket. An instant of time. At that point I had to leave. A very small circular shape. A row of points. Direct the course. Determine the direction of traveling. Give a point to. Intend something, to move towards a certain goal. A punctuation mark, placed at the end of a declarative sentence to indicate a full stop or after abbreviations. A brief version of the essential meaning of something. Get to the point. A distinguishing or individuating characteristic. He knows my bad points as well as my good points. A geometric element that has position but no extension. A point is defined by its coordinates. A linear unit used to measure the size of type, approximately 1/72 inch. A promontory extending out into a large body of water. They sailed south around the point. A style in speech or writing that arrests attention and has a penetrating or convincing quality or effect. Be positionable in a specified manner. The gun points with ease. Indicate the presence of game by standing and pointing with the muzzle. The dog pointed the dead duck. Mark, a psalm text, to indicate the points at which the music changes. Mark, Hebrew words, with diacritics. Mark with diacritics. Point the letter. 1% of the total principal of a loan. It is paid at the time the loan is made and is independent of the interest on the loan. Sharp end. He stuck the point of the knife into a tree. The object of an activity. What is the point of discussing it? The precise location of something, a spatially limited location. She walked to a point where she could survey the whole street. The unit of counting in scoring a game or contest. He scored 20 points in the first half. An instant of time. A measure of how likely it is that some event will occur. A number expressing the ratio of favorable cases to the whole number of cases possible. The probability that an unbiased coin will fall with the head up is 0.5. The quality of being probable. A probable event or the most probable event. For a while mutiny seemed a probability. The act of validating, finding or testing the truth of something. Any factual evidence that helps to establish the truth of something. If you have any proof for what you say, now is the time to produce it. Printing, an impression made to check for errors. Read for errors. I should proofread my manuscripts. Activate by mixing with water and sometimes sugar or milk. Proof yeast. A formal series of statements showing that if one thing is true, something else necessarily follows from it. A measure of alcoholic strength expressed as an integer twice the percentage of alcohol present, by volume. A trial photographic print from a negative. Need to reach proper lightness. Proof dough. Make or take a proof of, such as a photographic negative, an etching, or typeset. Make resistant to harm. Proof the materials against shrinking in the dryer. Used in combination or as a suffix, able to withstand. Temptation proof. A discrete amount of something that is analogous to the quantities in quantum theory. Physics. The smallest discrete quantity of some physical property that a system can possess, according to quantum theory. Used of opinions and actions, far beyond the norm. Radical opinions on education. Especially of leaves. Located at the base of a plant or stem, especially arising directly from the root or rootstock or a root-like stem. Radical leaves. An atom or group of atoms with at least one unpaired electron. In the body it is usually an oxygen molecule that has lost an electron and will stabilize itself by stealing an electron from a nearby molecule. In the body free radicals or high-energy particles that ricochet wildly and damage cells. Linguistics. The form of a word after all affixes are removed. Markedly new or introducing radical change. Radical political views. Chemistry. Two or more atoms bound together as a single unit and forming part of a molecule. A character conveying the lexical meaning of a logogram. A person who has radical ideas or opinions. Arising from or going to the root or source. A radical flaw in the plan. Mathematics. A quantity expressed as the root of another quantity. Of or relating to or constituting a linguistic root. A radical verb form. A quantity relative to some purpose.
Become our student and get access to effective and free educational materials. Subscribe to our YouTube channel to become a part of our growing YouTube community and to learn English effectively.